Hi everybody, I'm Lesley Stevens, Director of Mental Health and Learning Disabilities. You will have seen this week messages coming out from the Trust about working from home, and I just wanted to reiterate some of those messages for mental health and learning disability services. I've always been a great believer in flexible working and use of technology to enable what we do. And even before the pandemic, the Trust was doing some work on agile working and looking at how we can enable staff to work from home and work from a variety of different bases, particularly for staff who work in the community. Of course, the pandemic has pushed us into a situation where we have to take remote working even more seriously, and there's been a fantastic uptake of remote working using various technologies across the division, and that's not something that we necessarily will ever let go of. I would hope that we continue to keep the best of that remote and virtual working into the long term, because we know some of the people who use our services prefer it, some of our staff prefer it too. It's not going to be right for everybody in all circumstances, and of course there are staff who will always need to come in to do their work face to face. But right now, as we see COVID figures rising, I'd really urge all of you that can work at home to work at home. There's resources on the Trust website, including tools to fill in to make sure that you've got the right support around you to work safely at home. Please talk to your line manager about it if you've got any concerns, or if you think that you should be working from home and you're not. We need to keep our workspaces safe, and that includes creating space, and so it's really important right now that we do that. The last thing I wanted to say also relates to COVID, and that is we're seeing rising cases across the country. We're heading into winter. We know this is going to be a tough winter, I think, for everybody. I think lockdown was hard enough in spring and summer when the weather was good. I think it's going to be more difficult as we go through the winter period. We've been thinking about how best we support staff through this difficult period, and a lot of the wellbeing resources that were put in place through COVID are still there and are being stepped back up. But we've also wanted to add in an additional thank you for staff, and so there's been an introduction of Thank You Thursday, which is providing free meals for staff every Thursday. And that's the staff including in the community and in St Mary's. The arrangements are the same as they were at the height of the pandemic, so if you work in a community team you need to put your order in advance, but please all take advantage of it, and thank you for everything that you're doing.